Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Joel.
And I'm Frank.
Today we're going to be talking about Tottenham versus Arsenal, Everton versus Liverpool, Burnley versus West Bromwich Albion, Newcastle versus Stoke, and finally West Ham versus Man United. One competition to tell you about.
Competition time!
Who will score the most Premier League goals this weekend? There'll be a tweet out at Weekend Football and /Weekend Football. And you can also view that on Tagboard as well, which will be in the description to this podcast. First game, Tottenham versus Arsenal. The Premier League fixture everyone's looking forward to. The North London derby. The reverse fixture saw a 1-1 draw back in September. Both set of fans will argue that the teams are the better since then, Joel.
Yeah, you can't argue. Both teams are in good form at the minute. It should make for a brilliant derby. If Spurs win, they leapfrog Arsenal, so it's all to play for.
Yeah, we're not really used to this when summing up Arsenal, Tottenham. Usually when these sides meet, the one team's doing really well and are the clear favourites, and the away side isn't so popular. So it's a bit strange, really, that both sides come into this one in brilliant form.
I'm actually surprised that Arsenal start as favourites.
That struck me as well.
Spurs have come into this game with better form, and you've got to respect their home form. You know, the likes of United, Chelsea, Everton, they've all failed to win at White Hart Lane this season. And then you look at the 5-3 against Chelsea. You know, that's a statement of intent.
Absolutely.
Arsenal are actually the form team going into this game. They're second in the form table, whereas Spurs sit fourth, separated by 2 points.
That's from the last 6 games though, right?
Yeah, last 6 games.
I think the last 8 or 9 games, Spurs have only lost 1, whereas Arsenal have lost 1 more, I think.
Well, they've won 6 of the last 8, both of them. They've also, in the last 10 head-to-heads, they've both won 4, and the other 2 are draws. So it could get more even.
When talking about White Hart Lane specifically, Spurs have a fantastic record against Arsenal there. Lost just 1 of the last Premier League home matches against Arsenal, winning 3, drawing 2, and as I said, losing the 1. So,
yeah, I mean, the good thing for Spurs fans right now is their main man, Harry Kane. He's on fire, isn't he? About a month or so ago, me and yourself, Michael, snapped up 10-1 for Kane to be the highest English goal scorer this season.
Yep.
And now he's only 3 goals behind.
3 goals, looking
Charlie
at him very
Austin.
closely, yeah.
Looks promising, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Although Tottenham have that good record against Arsenal of late, Arsenal scored the same amount of away goals from away from home as Tottenham have at White Hart Lane this season.
I mean, to be fair to Arsenal, in the past, I've absolutely slated their defence. I gave them loads of stick, but I mean, they've turned it around since New Year's Day. They haven't conceded once, so full credit to them.
Just a word then on a potential goal scorer, Theo Walcott. Scored 4 and assisted 3 in his last 6 games against Spurs, Premier League games, I should mention. Obviously came back from a lengthy injury with the game against Brighton, got a goal again against Villa on Sunday. So
yeah, same with Ozil, actually. He had a bit of a long layoff since he's came back into the side. Scored a goal or 2, got a few assists. So, I mean, they're playing well, and you have to respect Arsenal.
Yep, very close game. I think we've decided. Supporters haze over this one for me, though, 2-1 to Tottenham.
Yeah, I actually fancy a BTTS Spurs win 9-2 at Coral. I just think Spurs will want it more when it comes down to it.
Exactly the same bet I've got.
Yeah, I haven't gone for a correct score, but a BTTS Spurs win again. At Coral looks the most likely outcome.
What I'd
for
add
me.
on to that as well, if you don't like the win markets, Harry Kane at 15-8 to score any time with Betfred seems nice value.
See, I've left Kane and Ericsson out of this one. I've gone for Nacer Chadley anytime at 43-10. Don't ask me why, I can't back it up. But I've gone for him anytime at Paddy Power.
Everton versus Liverpool, second derby of the weekend. Live on Sky Sports 1 at 5:30. Everton have won 1 in their last 7, whereas Liverpool have lost only 1 in their last 8. So stats suggest the form team should win the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win for Everton at Palace, but it still doesn't change my opinion on the outcome of this game. That was their first win in 7. They've been nothing short of terrible of late. And they're not even winning at Goodison Park very often. 1 in their last 5.
Yeah, not great. Not a brilliant record against Liverpool either.
Nope.
Over the last couple of years, it could be argued that the teams have been on similar levels, but yeah, looking back, Everton haven't had much joy over Liverpool over the last...
No, and I mean, going back to form, Liverpool are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum right now.
They are the form team in the Premier League at the moment.
Top of the form table, unbeaten in 7 in the league. Last 3 games they've won and kept a clean sheet in each of them.
And of course, this business with the form table and how well they're playing, the majority of it has been without Sturridge, who of course returned against West Ham. So that's just another positive.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Sturridge comes back with a goal. Whether he'll start or not remains to be seen. Coutinho is playing brilliant. So is Sterling. And for Everton, aside from John Stones, they've got an aging back four. Jagielka, Distan, even Baines isn't playing that great anymore. So I can just see Liverpool doing some damage to them, to be honest.
Can Aaron Lennon come in and make a difference?
I think he will make a difference. Liverpool have never been able to deal with pace that well, and I think he'll cause us some problems.
Obviously, you got Glenn Johnson, and who's your other fullback?
I don't think Glenn Johnson will start. He doesn't deserve to, but if he does, I think Lennon could run him ragged.
There's been... in the last 8 meetings between Liverpool and Everton, there's been 7 goals scored from the 80th minute onwards. So perhaps go for a goal in the last 10 minutes. That could
maybe. What have you got the odds on that?
No, I wasn't able to find any odds for that market, but something to bear in mind.
Yep.
A late goal could well be on the cards.
I know they say form goes out the window as it's a derby, but to be honest, I'd be very surprised if Everton get anything from this. I think Liverpool will play really well, and I've gone for a -1 handicap at 10-3 at Paddy Power.
I'm going to go for a BTS special result. I do think Everton will score because I can't see Lennon starting.
No.
But I can see him coming on about 70 minutes, and then with the tiredness as well, because you are actually playing on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Whereas Everton have got nearly a week.
Yeah, I think Liverpool for the next 8 weeks have got a midweek game. So it's really going to test our squad.
Should have done the job first time around, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Best price BTCS result, Coral, odds of 17-5.
Yeah, exactly the same one I've gone for, Mike.
Next, it's the Thriller Sunday. Burnley versus West Brom. Midday kickoff at Turf Moor. Burnley have won only 1 of the last 7, whereas West Brom and Pulis seem a decent side. They've only lost 1 of the last 4, but still not great form.
No, both teams have only won 1 from the last 7 games. I think it's got draw written all over it, to be honest.
Yep.
I think
I've gone for a draw as well. Goal scoring wise, both of them. Well, no, not both of them actually. Burnley, they've scored 9 in the last 5 games and have only won 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Not bad.
So it's more, score more and then you might win.
Yeah.
But West Brom, completely different story. They've scored only 2 in their last 5. And Berahino stating today that if he helps them get from relegation, he's going to go to a bigger club.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, sorry, mate, but you've only managed 2 league goals since late October, so I wouldn't get too carried away. Too carried away with that statement.
We were saying earlier, weren't we? I think his attitude's all wrong.
I do rate him. I think he's got a good eye for goal, but I think it's disrespectful to his West Brom teammates to be saying that. And he's not even backing it up in the Prem at the minute. He's not even scoring that many.
Yeah, if he'd scored like 6 in his last 6, then we might listen to him. But
wouldn't want him on my club.
No, not right now. But to be honest with you, I mean, going back to Burnley, I mean, they need to get their main man, Danny Ings, focused back on matters on the pitch and scoring goals, doing what he does best, because Liverpool's interest in him obviously distracted him. Even their manager, Sean Dyche, he said the same thing.
It's bound to, isn't it?
Yeah.
A club as big as Liverpool coming in for
it's a
Danny
big club.
Ings.
If we're talking specifically history between these two sides, 8 of the last 9 meetings between the Baggies and Burnley have ended with over 2.5 goals.
Really?
Yeah, so...
I've gone for that.
Yeah?
Yeah, best price 7-5 at Bet Victor. But obviously everyone knows that market is an accumulative market.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I've got
a few more in there.
I've got one step further. An over 2.5 goals double taking this match along with the Saturday's fixture of Leicester Palace. I think that has potential. So
Yeah, I like that.
perhaps go for a double there.
I've just gone for the outright draw 9-4 with Betway.
Yeah, equally as likely.
Newcastle versus Stoke next, another thriller. Newcastle take on Newcastle take on Stoke in the 2 p.m. game on Sky Sports 1. Newcastle are still hovering outside the top 10, with Stoke themselves winning on the weekend. A win here would lift them above their opposition into 10th. Can they do it?
I'm not too sure. Obviously, John Carver got his first win as Newcastle boss with a convincing 3-0 win away at Hull. But no disrespect to Hull, I think Stoke will prove to be a much sterner test. I'm really impressed with how Mark Hughes has managed them this season. They play some really good football.
Yeah, I must say, I do fancy Newcastle in this one, despite what you've just said, Joel. I think it's somewhat understated the work Cabella does for Newcastle. Watching his last few games, absolute fantastic performances. I'm talking specifically against Hull and Chelsea.
Got his first goal, didn't he, against Hull?
Yeah, what a cracker it was.
Was a cracker.
Well, I'm really surprised at Stoke, actually. Focusing on Tottenham results solely, I kind of forgotten about Stoke. They're actually they're fifth in the form table, and based on the past 6 games, the same form as Spurs and Southampton.
Really?
I did not know that before researching this, but they actually have as well the best away record outside the top 10.
Oh, really?
They do.
I mean,
And that's why I think I was going to sway towards Newcastle, maybe draw, but now I'm actually going to go for a Stoke away win.
they've been going about the business quite quietly, but it'll be interesting to see how they cope with the loss of Bojan, because obviously he's ruled out for the season now. They built pretty much all their team around the way he plays. It's going to be a big loss for them.
Potential goal scorers then, guys? Who could net?
You got to go for Cisse, I guess.
Yeah,
And
4 goals in his last 6 against Stoke.
Yeah, and obviously Jonathan Walters just scored a hat-trick at the weekend, didn't he? So
Yeah.
it'd be hard to overlook him.
Goals aren't a problem for Newcastle. Their win against Hull last weekend was the 3rd time in 5 games they scored 3 goals.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yep. So, but defence on the other side, completely different story. Newcastle, along with Burnley, have the worst defence over the last 6 games, conceding 12.
Really? I mean, the stats don't lie. They've only won 1 of the last 4 home games. In contrast, Stoke have only lost 1 of the last 4 away games. So I'm going to go for a BTTS and a result being a draw, 15-4 at Bet Victor.
Like I said, I thought it was going to be a draw, but reading these stats, I can't see past Stoke. I think people might be going for the draw based on a 3-0 convincing win at Hull, but Hull are terrible at the moment, and I think it will cloud people betting wise. So I'd actually stick either to the draw or Stoke.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Okay, I disagree with both of you. I've gone for a BTTS Newcastle win, 4-1 at Coral. I think there's real value in that.
You're the type of person I just said is going to be clouded from their Hull game.
Well, quite possibly, but we shall see.
Finally, West Ham versus Man United. 4:15 kickoff, Sky Sports 1. West Ham's form has dropped off of recent, winning only 1 of their last 6, whereas United have lost just 1 of their last 13 in the league. Very convincing from United.
Yeah, they're sort of getting back to their early season form where they went on that good run. They've got a great record against West Ham. I mean, it's almost perfect. In the last 12 games, unbeaten, and they've won 11 of them. But I'm actually siding with West Ham for this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joel. As you say, Man United, fantastic record against West Ham over the last couple of seasons. But let's be honest, when have we seen a West Ham side performing like they currently are?
Yeah.
And when have we, in contrast, when have we seen a United side performing like they currently are?
Exactly.
Well, the West Ham we're seeing perform currently are is usually the West Ham we used to, because they've only won 1 of the last 6.
When I say currently, I mean,
Yeah,
over the space of the season.
They're going through a bit of a bad patch, but look, I know that they went to Old Trafford early in the season, got beat 2-1, but they was absolutely robbed. Absolutely robbed. Should have had a goal at the end, got disallowed from the lino. Like we're saying, it's a different West Ham this season, and United aren't exactly setting the world alight. West Ham, they've only lost 1 in the last 10 home games. Can't see a United win here.
I think if I was going to bet on it, I'd go for a draw because, again, with the whole cloudiness, the West Ham have beaten City and Liverpool this season.
Yeah.
There. And that's why I think people will think, oh, yeah, they're going to beat West Ham. They're going to beat United.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I am being swayed by West Ham's price. At 3-1, I think it's too good not to back because I think that they will have a good chance of beating them. That's a bet Victor.
It wouldn't be going in my accumulators.
No, maybe
not.
just a single.
It's a potential for a surprise banana skin. I think. Thanks for listening. Next show, it's Man City versus Newcastle, Spurs versus West Ham, Everton versus Leicester, and Southampton versus Liverpool.
Download the Football Coupon app on iPhone and Android for best odds, bet tracking, live Opta data, and score forecasts. For more information, check out footballcoupon.co.uk.